Hey, what's up, everybody? Roy and I are here. Roy, what's up? Happy Sunday morning.
Yep.
Um, we thought this would be a good thing to do because Roy and I we've done like 4 or 5 safety videos, and here's like the epitome of gig work safety issue in my I mean, like we are seeing it literally play out, and oddly, it involves a YouTube prankster, and I think everybody knows what we're talking about. Before we jump in real quick, I want to know 2 things, Roy. Have you ever seen these? Or I mean, why first of all, why can you drive around golf carts on streets with roads? I've never understood this. And then why is there a city clamp on it?
Oh, maybe that's probably why. That is kind of corny, but yeah.
But
Maybe
people do
that's
it
why.
around my neighborhood all the time. And it makes, I guess my question is, it makes me concerned because they're not insured in a golf cart.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, well, what happens if, I mean,
You come around the
I
corner
hit
and
them?
take them
Yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, like even the cops will just pass them. Like they don't care that they're out there doing it. I'm like, that's not a vehicle.
Yeah. Cops don't care to do much of anything anymore. So,
But you guys, we'll start off. I got 2 videos that we'll go through. Let me quickly just touch on the points I had that I wanted to cover with Roy today. Was that okay? So we know what the findings were, and you guys will see it in the first video. We know that he got acquitted. You'll see the whole thing play out in case you're like going, what are they talking about? But yes, he 100% has the right to defend himself. The, unless you're in his shoes, you don't know the actual level of threat. We'll talk about all these things. The prankster had only his phone, no weapon, confirmed by the police. Dasher was taken down by like 4 police officers within like a minute and something. And well, if all these police were there, that's another weird thing. And again, guys, I'm not passing judgment unless I'm in his place. I don't know what really happened. The prankster is already making more videos. The mother of the prankster is going to kind of, I don't know, she at least threw me off a little bit with her just no remorse. And then I saw a video, the second video we have shows the father, and that kind of sheds some light too. This whole thing is just a mess. And the comments that came out from the other one were a mess. So please, as we go here, guys, ask questions, put your opinions in there. We want to see them all. So, but here's the first video. One's 2 minutes, one's 2.5.
So right now we're getting a look at newly unsealed video in the case of a Northern Virginia DoorDash driver who shot a prank YouTuber at Dulles Town Center. So the man who opened fire was acquitted on the most serious charges last week, a jury siding with his argument of self-defense. And now, for the first time, we're seeing the brief encounter that led up to those shots being fired at the mall. Just 20 seconds from the moment YouTube prankster Tanner Cook first approached Alan Coley and the moment Coley shot Cook in the stomach. This was the key piece of evidence in the case that jurors considered when acquitting Coley of the most serious charges of malicious wounding. The full 5-minute video shows Tanner Cook scoping out victims of his prank, playing odd and explicit messages on his phone. He then approaches Alan Coley, who was picking up a food delivery for his job with DoorDash. Coley tells Cook to stop several times and threatens to call police. Then a huge escalation, and in just 20 seconds, he pulls a handgun out of his pocket and shoots Cook in the stomach. Cook, who has since recovered, reacting to our Matthew Torres about the not guilty verdicts last Thursday.
How disappointed are you about this?
I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. It's God's plan at the end of the day. So,
we respect what the jury says. And my family and I are just grateful and thankful that I have my son here. And nothing else matters right now. That was the first time I seen the video. No mom wants to see their son be shot by a complete stranger in an occupied place. It was very shocking and very heart-wrenching.
Tanner Cook also telling WUSA 9 this incident won't stop him from making more YouTube videos.
Opinion about his content on YouTube. Do you agree with that?
I support Tanner in whatever he decides to do, and I'm going to continue supporting him.
Now, the jury did find Coley guilty of a charge related to firing the gun in the mall, but that particular verdict was set aside and is going to be reevaluated since he was acquitted on the other charges.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've seen it already, but what's your take, Roy? I mean, I've watched it so many times. it's like the way he's carrying the food. He carried a hot bag, but he didn't put the food in it. You know, and then as he's walking away, he's just kind of carrying it on top. It's like he was like ready for it almost, the way he was walking away.
I think it was more of a distraction. He probably didn't, the guy was like right on his rear end from the start, like all up in his face, and it didn't even look like he had time to put the food in a hot bag or do anything before the guy just started getting on his case, and getting in his face and doing stuff like that. And like I said, how far does it have to escalate before you take action on somebody like that? He obviously didn't take no. The guy, swung at him, said, "Leave me alone," blah, blah, blah. Like I said, how far does it have to go? They said, "Oh, well, he didn't have no weapons," but you don't know that at the time. You don't know what he has on you. You don't know what his intent is, and so at that point,
and he had a buddy with him.
Yeah, and he had a friend.
I mean, for whatever that was worth.
Yeah, exactly. And so at that point, you have to decide when do I need to stop the issue? Whether and like I say, who knows the threat? We all take threats differently. He's a little guy. This is a big, tall ass kid, or man. I should say, I won't even say kid. He's a fucking grown man acting stupid. And, he was towering over that kid over that kid. And so the kid made the decision, hey, I'm going to stop it now before it escalates any worse. And he obviously, 12 of his peers said not guilty. So, and that's the most important part, you have the right to defend yourself.
Dude, I mean, I think the guy is 6'3".
Yeah.
And I don't know how shorter the other guy was, but you notice.
That he was noticeably shorter. And so when you got some big guy towering over you, shoving shit in your face, you don't know, like I said, how far is it going to escalate? It's going to wait till you get to the stairs and you fall because you're still worried about this guy all up in your face and doing stupid stuff, and then you hurt yourself severely. It's like, no, you got what you deserved. In my opinion, he got what he deserved. And apparently he hasn't learned his lesson. And even looking at his mom, you could tell it by his mom's face, like he's an idiot and he got what he did. I could almost read his mom as, well, that's what he got for being stupid, and I'll still support him. And maybe next time she'll be supporting the funeral, because it'll be somebody that'll be a lot better shot, and there won't be, he won't be able to make no more videos. So.
I'm glad you said the mom thing, because I was shocked that the mom was like, when they said like, well, what do you feel, what about him moving forward and I'll support Tanner no matter what he does. Yeah, no shit. You're going to be supporting me your whole life, because this guy's going to be a knucklehead. I mean, he's going, I mean, he learned and literally got, he got shot in the gut, and he's already back up doing this again. This was just months ago. So I'll get it out of the way, you guys, to anybody who saw the other pieces. Dashing Trader said the first mistake that was made was that he took an order in a mall. So let's just get that out of the way. That was not the fall. I did notice that somebody else in the comments pointed out something I missed, which is it was a Popeyes too, which is like another. So it's like double whammy.
That could have been why the kid was on edge too. He's picking up those $3.50 orders from a mall. He's probably not in a good mood as it is. So
let's see who's in the chat so far, and then we'll watch this other video and go through a couple things, because I'm disturbed by it. I'm torn. I get where his rights lie. I mean, Roy, like you and I know this, but we didn't. Dude, if I ever went to a mall in like the 80s, like that didn't happen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it did.
I mean, not even, dude, if you went outside, if you wanted to fight, it's like you wouldn't even do that in the mall. You had enough respect to go, let's go outside.
Yeah, but then you didn't have to deal with these ignorant ass people thinking, I can prank people whenever I want, and I can get up and all up in their business and act like an idiot and not expect consequences. We didn't have to deal with that. People minded their business. They acted like normal human beings. Now everybody thinks it's funny. Everything is funny until something like this happens. And even the kid hasn't learned the lesson. He didn't care, obviously.
Oh, so, not at all. Yeah, what's up, Ken? Good morning. What's up, Damian Blaze? As long as you're not breaking the law and have something to back it up with, riding one of those, you're fine. Hi, Flower.
And that's another thing people have to fucking realize, is that a lot of more of these states, because of the current situation with the rioting and the attacking people, that stand your ground laws are becoming more and more popular in a lot of states. And,
Yeah.
you know, people need to understand that when they do this kind of stuff that, you know, people, like I said, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", fucking 290. So, yeah, something like that, I would just socked him in his mouth and it probably would have been a done deal. But, you know, other people look at it differently, you know.
Yeah.
Because who's to say that at least this was deemed as a self-defense, you know, you swinging on him, that might be looked at by people as you're provoking it and you're causing a fight in public, you know. So there's a lot of different ways. He obviously got a good jury, though. I'll give him that. He got 12.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to a text after we get through this initial chat thing. We're gonna get to a text that an old friend of mine who's played all the legal roles in the state of Nevada. He's currently in Reno. He might even be watching the stream because I told him we'd be doing this. But he sent me a text about that we'll look through because it's kind of interesting. But let's see. What's up? Hey Nick, how are you doing?
Hey, Nick,
what's up, Derek? And guns don't hurt people or kill people, or don't hurt or kill people. Stupid people with guns too. Okay. When you pull out a gun, you make sure it's, yeah, of course. I mean, you better be trained and stuff too. I don't know. You know, like, don't be getting a gun and then just taking it to the mall. So,
yeah.
You know, what's up, Nick? You got dual screen, okay.
He's got both of us open. He's got mine because I got it streaming on mine as well. So,
hey Deborah, how are you?
Yeah.
And let's see. We were given gun rights to protect us from big government, as well as hunting for food and defending our family homes.
Okay, hunting for food was never a part of the Second Amendment. So we can remove that. It was for self-protection and the protection against tyranny of government. It had nothing to do with hunting for food or none of that.
Yeah, because we were trapping. We had arrows.
Yeah.
There were other ways of fishing.
Exactly.
But
that right was specifically given for the reason it states in the Constitution. So.
When we fought, we didn't announce it. We fought when we had to and sent a message to others. Talk is cheap, and you better have something to back it up. Sensei, I'm 6'4" Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, I've seen Sensei in person, and he's not even close to 6'4". So we won't tell his actual true height, but yeah, we'll keep that secret.
He was lucky he didn't die. Of course he was. I mean, point blank range, and that was like, by the way, if you guys didn't notice, that was like an old 20s gangster shot style. Like,
yeah,
you know, no aim, no.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of like,
yeah, whipped it out quick and popped him in the gut. But
yeah, like that's what was weird to me too. See, this is part of what I wanted to ask you, Roy, too. Did you not find? I mean, look, this isn't even questioning what he did, but when he's walking away, and he's like, he's already getting away from the guy at this point, as I can tell. Like he's kind of done and he could just walk, but instead, as he's walking away, he's like, boom. Like, I don't know. Normally somebody takes a stance or.
Well, that's the thing with stand your ground. You don't have to retreat. That's the whole point of stand your ground. You're not required to retreat. Some states, he would have to walk away. He would have to try to escape from the situation. And the way he just turned and shot him and got him off his back, you know, and it just happened to be the way he was standing that he pulled it out and shot him the way he did, you know. And it goes to show, and that could be one of the reasons also it was self-defense, because the way he turned, when he pulled it out and shot him shows that he was trying to retreat from the situation, and yet the kid continued to follow him and get on him and get close and so like that. So that might have helped with this whole self-defense. That, hey, I was trying to escape. You saw I was turning to walk away, and he continued. And so that's when I pulled out my gun and shot him. So, you know, that probably helped the case actually a little bit.
Hey, what's up, Trout?
What's up, Trout?
I'm 6'2" on Tinder. By the way, Sensei, I have you beat. I put a banner up or I pulled one today because I was in. You guys know Matt and Hector, right?
Yeah.
Hector's always in Roy's and everybody's lives, and you guys might know Matt. Matt was doing a live stream this morning, and Hector threw up the comment of the week for me. It's perfect, and here's Matt streaming on the left, and Hector's comment is Matt looks like he's about to do a drug bust at the Marriott.
Jesus.
I don't know what it is, but adding that little Marriott tidbit. But yeah, so the same thing we were talking about with the stand your ground states, this by the way, this is from a lawyer who's been a magistrate, who's been a judge, and now works for the county water commission up in Reno. So he knows Nevada too, but so he's saying that wouldn't qualify as self-defense in Nevada. I don't know, like you said, Nevada is stand your ground, but then he's talking about stand your ground, but in stand your grounds it might. Not sure where this was. But yeah, I may have punched the guy. Okay, so I told him it was Dulles, Virginia. And he said maybe the jury was so annoyed with the YouTube guy that they figured he deserved it, and that's why he was acquitted. And then he says juries often do weird things. Let me get this comment off here. Yeah, so then I said to him, hey, under the Freedom of Information Act, can't I get a transcript of this? And he confirmed to me yes. And so, by the way, guys, because I don't know about you guys, I am like super intrigued to read the transcript from that jury trial. Not that I doubt him. I just want to know what had these jurors go, yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem nowadays too. It's even if you do protect yourself in a self-defense situation, because of this woke criminal system we currently live in, they'll try to get you for anything. They don't care about your rights as an individual anymore. They see, oh, this looks like a high-profile case. Even though it's a clear-cut case that, hey, I was protecting myself, whatever. And so now you're going to have to go through all that money to go through a trial and get lawyers and stuff like that. Me personally, if I was a kid that shot him, that kid would be paying my lawyer fees, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. Because, and that's unfortunately our woke justice system right now. They're willing to throw, even though you're in the right, you still got to prove that you're in the right. And that's getting to be ridiculous too. And people are getting fed up with it, and that's the problem,
So you guys, here's the other video that surfaced about a week ago, because now it's talking, and I think it's mentioned in this one, where they're saying that they want the one of the 4 charges. He was acquitted on 3. The one was that he got charged on was firing a weapon in public, or discharging a weapon, and they're trying to get that thrown out.
And that's another thing. They try to throw so many charges at you that they hope that one sticks, even though it's ridiculous that he pulled out his gun in self-defense and shot. He was acquitted for that, but yet you found him guilty. That's where the jury is kind of retarded, in my opinion. It's like, okay, you acquitted him pulling his gun out and using it in a self-defense situation, but then yet you said he's guilty for firing in a building. Like, what did they expect? Like, did they expect him to walk outside first and then shoot him? Or, you know what I'm saying? So in that respect, I think the jury is kind of stupid. So maybe they just felt like they had to convict him for something, because in the court of popular opinion, they would look bad if, people just took vigilantes in their hands and just shot somebody to shoot somebody, So to me, maybe the jury just thought they had to convict him of something. And this was probably the one charge that will get overturned. It will get overturned for sure. He ain't going to face anything on that. You can guarantee that. But it's like they'll throw so many charges just in hopes one sticks,
And I get that, dude. But I mean, you kind of hit on something. So doesn't that kind of give again, the guy had the right, but doesn't that almost, because we've all the time talked about safety for gig workers. This is the tippy top tower of it. And don't you think others might see that and think, oh, you can do that?
Well, that's like I said, that goes to based on your first of all your laws. You got to know what your laws is. First of all, the way he was carrying that gun just in his pocket, he needs to be slapped for that. No holster. He just pulled it out of his coat pocket. And
right. It's not
that
secured.
Right there is,
yeah.
that right there is ignorant in his first place. But at least he had something to protect himself, which is good. We recommend all the time. We recommend on all of our videos, carry something to protect yourself. Does it mean that anybody can do that? No. There are extenuating circumstances, which,
And if you've missed Roy and I talking about that, also have a plan. If you're doing rideshare, have a plan. Like if somebody put a gun to your back of your head and you're driving on the highway, what are you going to do? Because if you think, it's like muscle memory. If you think about it a few times, might not be what I would do, but if you think about it a few times, if it happens, you might react a little bit better, because almost all the time, if you just do what they say, it's not going to turn out real well for you.
Yeah, when it comes to self-defense shootings, that's the biggest mindset you have to have, is that if I pull it, I got to use it type situation. Most times you pull your gun, you're not going to need it because the situation's going to stop. But in this particular case, pulling it, the guy had already decided, hey, this guy's freaking me out. I don't know what he's going to do. And he already decided to pull that trigger. So
there was a little part of me that was thinking, did that, I mean, just like you said, like he didn't have it holstered. It was just kind of like was he going in there potentially to do a mall shooting? And then this actually saved doing a mass shooting?
No, I don't
like this asshole gets in his way.
I don't think so. Because what it looked like he had a revolver. It looked like a revolver to me. I didn't get a close look, but it looked like a revolver, like a small revolver. And you ain't doing no mass shootings with that.
Well, I mean,
and second of all, you wouldn't be going to pick up fucking an order from fucking Popeyes before you decide to kill everybody at the mall. Yeah, that's not that.
Well, maybe it's his last dash, and it's going to be his dinner, and he's just going to steal it. I don't know.
Or it could be depending on where he's at. You said Virginia by DC. We know that crime rate in those particular areas are fucking huge, and you get some gangster-looking kid walking up to you with his hat sideways. But
Northern Virginia, this was in Northern Virginia, Dulles, and that's all of that stuff intertwines real close. The District of Columbia, you can get to Baltimore, New York, like all within an hour, and like Dulles is really close. It's like a half hour away. So, but up there they have strict gun laws. In fact, this isn't normally okay. But here's the other video, and you're again, guys, watch the mom, and then we'll get back to the chat and see your comments too. But watch the mom, watch the dad who comes into play in this one, because first of all, I want to point this out before you watch it, because I've watched it a couple times. When you see the dad come on, why is this happened in April? He had the surgeries. He got out. He's already making videos again. His mom went to all the court cases. His dad was not present for any of this. And now his dad, a week ago, is making a stance. And so, okay.
Tonight, Fox 5 has obtained never-before-seen footage of a YouTube prank that ended with a shooting. A Loudoun County jury found Alan Coley not guilty of the most serious charge connected to the shooting at Dulles Town Center. David Kaplan's working this one tonight. You got your hands on the video. What happened here?
Yeah, Jim, Tanner Cook's YouTube page has nearly 56,000 followers. Most videos show Cook going to public places and doing some sort of prank that people typically have negative reactions to. We're going to walk you through this video without audio first, then we'll play the whole thing for you. On April 2nd at Dulles Town Center, Cook was being filmed as part of his YouTube page as he walked up to Collie, who was picking up a food delivery. On Cook's phone, he had an automated voice play a vulgar message that was repeated multiple times to Collie, who tells him to get away or he'll call the police, is what it appears to say in the video. Collie tries walking away. Cook appears to follow. Then the lone shot rings out. Here's the full video.
What?
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that mean?
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Hey, quit thinking about my
Get out of my face and house then. Stop.
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop.
Colley did have a concealed carry permit. Cook has recovered. Colley was found guilty of discharging a firearm in a public place. Again, not guilty on some of the wounding-related charges. His attorneys, Colley's, getting a hearing next month, arguing that the verdict should be thrown out on the discharge in public since it was self-defense. Today, the Loudoun County Commonwealth's attorney says the force used by Colley, they believe, did not match the threat he faced. Cook's father, Jeremy, agreed with that, but disagreed with some parts of how the Commonwealth's attorney prosecuted its case.
Where's the line where it became a life-threatening situation where he had to use deadly force? If you see that line that was crossed, then you can think like that. But if you watch the video, at no point do you go, oh, there's where it became a physical point where this guy had to defend himself. That never happened.
Tonight to get their perspective. They told me this was a difficult case. One juror told me that he did believe that Cook was a threat, to Colley, specifically pointing to Cook's size relative to Colley and the fact that Cook wasn't speaking and kept following him, and that Cook had an expressionless face. The jury originally told the judge they were deadlocked. Then they came back with the verdict a short time later when they handed down that verdict yesterday. What was the jury thinking in the room? What changed their mind? I have the one juror's perspective. We'll have that at 6:30 as we continue our coverage. Jim, Jacqueline.
All right, David.
So how about that dad?
Yeah, well, one, that shows the ignorance of the dad. First of all, you should have taught your kid some fucking respect. Oh, excuse my language. Damn, forgot.
No,
you should have taught a kid to respect other people's and respect people's boundaries and not act like an idiot out in public and do stuff like that. Second of all, like I said earlier, what do you mean draw the line? Like why do people feel that the line has to be this clear drawn line, or it has to be, oh my God, now I'm falling down the stairs, let me shoot him, or I have to wait for him to pull out his weapon before I defend myself. This whole, well, it met every criteria. You got a bigger guy, he's coming at you. You don't know, well, actually there's two of them coming at you. You don't know what their intentions are. They just keep shoving this thing in your face, distracting you. Who knows? Maybe they were going to try to rob you for the food. Who knows what they're trying to do? So at what point, like I said, do you have to feel that, oh my God, you don't know his intentions. And that's the thing, So
and the dad saying, the dad talking about the line too threw me off like totally off, because I'm like, dude, your son's YouTube channel is about just abusing
all
people.
Kinds of lines. Yeah, crossing all kinds.
I mean,
of lines.
all he does is he line crosses all day.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he does, that's all he does for a living.
Yeah, he's a habitual line crosser.
Right. I mean, honestly, dude. I mean, to be honest, like I was just, I mean, it's like that dad. I don't know. And he pops up out of nowhere. But so Ken says, I wonder if the defendant is still allowed to carry a gun. I don't see why he wouldn't be.
And the answer will be yes. If this other charge gets dropped, because I think it's a felony charge because he faces like 5 years in prison for it. If it's if that gets dropped, yes, then he's acquitted of everything. It doesn't take away his Second Amendment rights at that point.
Yeah. Since he says you only take a stance if you're in a standoff. Turn and shoot is a defensive action. Okay, I'm learning about this too, guys. I'm just trying to take in all this, and I know each state's laws are different too. I mean,
yeah.
So, but I'm just trying to take all this in because I just find this very 2023.
And all of it really does based on the court system. What kind of DA do you have? Where do you live? Like, California is so sissified that they would have convicted that kid in a heartbeat. We know that. Yeah. And by the way, he does look like Bud Soda. But that kid.
I was gonna say something though. In Bud Soda's defense, I've met Bud Soda in person. Yeah, right. Bud Soda's like 6'2".
But yeah, it really depends, and what state you're in, and how sissified your state has become. He could have done that in like Seattle, or they would convict him in a heartbeat just because everybody's scared of guns and they want the kumbaya situation. So to me, it sounds like he got a good jury that understood what the deal was. And you know why I think that jury did what they did is because of that particular area, DC. They see the crime. They see they see where people are just being walked up to at a gas station and being robbed for no reason. They see that stuff. So they probably in the back of their mind say, hey, that could have been me at the gas station with some guy walking up to me trying to rob me or something. So I see where the kid's mindset was, because they're all standing on eggshells because your city ain't taking care of your crime issue. And that could happen to anybody. You don't know. So
I mean,
that's probably where that
District of Columbia this year to date, 5,000 plus carjackings, 2 of which were House of Representative members.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
so that's
just
probably what that's probably where the jury is coming from. They're looking at it in the situation that they've had to deal with the last few years with the rise in crime. They see it on the news every day, simple situations turning into life and death situations. This very easily could have turned into a life and death situation. Like I said, what if he would have harassed them, the dude fucking fell down the escalators and hurt himself really bad or killed himself because this guy just kept nudging him and nudging him and nudging him. You know what I'm saying? So there's your line. There's your line. Don't cross other people's boundaries and don't cross their line, and you won't have to figure out what the line is. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean, I guess this is just all new to me, man, because I wouldn't go shove a phone in a guy's face and be a prankster. That's not my style. But at the same time, like, I've worked in the bar not having a gun on me, and I've seen everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things I wouldn't believe, but I mean, they always got diffused.
Yeah.
Call me lucky, call it whatever you will, but I don't know. It didn't seem as, like, I won't say it seemed more justified, but like it made more sense to me. Like I have trouble wrapping my head around this one.
I really don't, to be honest with you. I don't have sympathy for idiots like that.
Of what he did, the whole way it went down. What's wrong with this prankster? Why is he? I mean,
and to be honest with you, I'm quite impressed with the kid that shot him. I'm quite impressed with him. He had the mindset that, hey, I carry a firearm for my safety, and he's not afraid to use it. And so I'm impressed with that. That mindset alone is that he's on his guard. He's obviously had something that's happened to him before. That's why he's carrying it in the first place. So I'm sure this ain't the first time he's dealt with some possible like robber situation, and that's why he's carrying it in the first place. And he's on guard like he is. So I'm pretty impressed with that he had the mindset to say, hey, I'm drawing the line here. You're not gonna do this to me. And he popped the kid in the gut. And like I said, the kid's lucky he's not paralyzed. That bullet could have went through his spine. He's lucky he's not dead. He would have hit a major organ with that bullet. He might have, like you said, it might have been a funeral his parents were like crying at versus on the news.
I mean, look, if he wasn't already making the videos again, I'd say he doesn't have the guts to do it.
Yeah, that exactly. You can't. Yeah, so he already he already had the protection mindset, and that goes for anybody that carries a gun. You got to have that mindset that, hey, if I got to whip it out, I'm going to use it. You got to be willing to use it and to protect yourself. Unfortunately, you'll end up in court like this kid did. Unfortunately, and that's one of the consequences. But it is what it is. I'd rather be alive than some fucking turd that was bothering me and end up flying down some stairs or even worse.
See, this is the closure conversation I needed for this. Like, Sensei, that doesn't make sense, Steve. Wouldn't people see OJ and think, hey, I can go do that too? Yeah, so, okay.
Well,
I hear you.
That's the dad. That's the dad. That's once again a parent that's not involved in his kid's life. Now that his kid's in the public light, all of a sudden wants to speak up on shit. Well, maybe if you were in his life and taught him the right things from the first place, he wouldn't have been shot in the first place. So,
I mean, look, we can only read seconds of what we saw, but to be honest, I think they did spend some time together. They seem alike. I mean,
that's another thing. It sounds like his dad's another one of those liberal pieces of turd that think, I'm entitled to do whatever I want and I don't have to face the consequences. Well, your son faced some consequences this time. So,
So yeah, your driver.
That's another thing that's crazy to me, bro. Everybody wants to try to justify the idiots. They don't want to take the kid's side because the kid was like actually protecting himself, not knowing what's happening. But people are more crybaby about the victim of the shooting. Like, oh, he didn't deserve that. What? Where do you guys come
Well,
up
also
with this?
let's remember it went through the legal system. He got acquitted.
Yeah, exactly. So it
So
wasn't
that's
like it.
we have a legal system here. We're not some countries that just chop your hands off and willy nilly and whatever.
Well, we
You
should,
know,
to be honest with you. Trust me.
but I'm saying,
be a
like,
lot of,
but
yeah,
I'm saying
there'd be
this
a lot
guy
of-
got his fair day in court. And
Yeah.
that's what I want. That's why I want the transcripts. But to be honest, like, he got his fair day in court. The jurors decided to acquit him.
Yeah, and there'd probably be a lot less Walmarts closing if you could cut people's hands off. Trust me, it would be a great deterrent. You know, but that's the thing. It's just, you know, this whole society that we got to now that's more worried about the victim, the perpetrator's rights than the actual victim. Which the kid is the actual victim here. He's the one that suffers the most. Yeah, you can get your gut fixed or whatever the case may be, but now you're out doing it. So you not only did you prove that you're stupid, but you prove that you were extra stupid because you're now you're out doing the same exact thing that almost cost you your life because it's fun and he probably gets paid well on YouTube for doing it, you know.
And that's another thing too. Should YouTube be allowing this guy to continue? I mean, like, look at our channels have taken strikes for dumb stuff. Like, seriously, you're letting this guy go back out there and like.
But that's what's crazy nowadays. That society thinks that kind of shit is funny. They all think it's funny until it happens to them, and then it's like, oh, you know, that's what's fucking crazy about it. Is everybody thinks it's funny up until the point it happens to them, and they're in that situation. They're like, we could all play Monday night quarterback all we want, but until you're actually in that physical situation, you don't know how you're going to react. I know how I'll react. You probably know how you're going to react. Sensei knows how he's going to react because we have that mindset that we look for potential dangers and stuff like that. This kid, you know, like I said, he's probably had some traumatic shit happen in his life living in that area that he needed a gun for protection. And he had the mindset, I'm going to fucking pop somebody if they, you know, show me any kind of, you know, fear me or, you know, cause any kind of fear towards me. So I give him kudos, man. I give the kid kudos.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and that, you know, speaking of that too, there's a, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a trend about moving people's, this isn't related to gig work, but it's happened to some gig workers too. But like if somebody comes to McDonald's to pick up an order and runs in, it's like a trend to like move their car. To me, like, dude, you just stole my car.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't care if you moved it over to the back of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And now they're thinking like that's a new prank and other people are repeating it. And it's I can't remember what it's called. Somebody in the chat will know, but
first of all, you shouldn't be leaving your fucking keys in your car running in the first place to go in and run and get an order.
Right, but don't be shooting a TikTok either.
Well,
and then do it and get out and laugh and run back to your car. You know, I don't know.
But,
I mean,
but yeah, I guess, you know, even though, like you said, it's a TikTok thing, but it's also a lesson learned. At least they didn't steal your car. At least they didn't steal your car, wreck it or whatever. They were just joking around and moved it because you were dumb enough to leave it in that situation. So I guess, yeah, it's corny that it's a prank thing, but it's also a good lesson for a person to learn. Don't leave my keys running in the car, you know, so. McDonald's order ain't that bad that you can't park and just walk the fuck, you know, and get it. Like, come on, you know, to leave your car sitting in the rain.
And there were two big keys to this mall order and Popeyes, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And that shows you that this business mindset these people have that, okay, if I was a real business owner, am I going to leave my doors unlocked at night when I go home so they can just walk in and steal my shit? You know, that's the thing. People I don't know, man. That $5 is more important than the whole vehicle that they use to make the $100 they make during the day or whatever. They're willing to sacrifice their car for $5 by leaving it out running in the middle of a parking lot. I'm like, come on. Yeah.
What's a knife gonna do? What did I miss here?
What if a knife's gonna do in a mass shooting situation? In a mass shooting situation, a knife will do absolutely nothing.
I mean, unless you're like low behind the guy and you take his Achilles heel or something.
Well, yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's.
But yeah,
let me tell you something. Nobody wants to be in a knife fight. Trust me, you don't ever want to be in a knife fight. That's going to be the most horrific fight you'll ever be in your lifetime. So and just prepare yourself. Unless you're prepared to get cut, don't get in a knife fight with somebody. Walk the fuck away.
I was gonna say, if you look into those, like most knife fights involve like 100 stabbings. They're just so quick. But it's
exactly.
Like me, I have I have big outdoor Colorado knives that are serrated and stuff. So I just got to get it in you once and rip it and you're done. Like everything's coming out.
Yeah.
But
I carry them too when I go out. So I got them too. So.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, people get in a knife fights, people get stabbed a ton.
Yeah. That's one of those things you got to you're prepared to be cut, because you're going to get cut in a knife fight. But in a mass shooting, it would do,
Sensei says he's getting upset because he's trying to justify his dumb son's actions. Exactly. I got mad how late, like Roy mentioned, how late the dad jumped in, because this happened in April, and the jury, and it's just now all coming to closure now. But the mom's been very involved in sounding like a moron, but she's been very involved. And
well, the dad's probably seen his 15 minutes of fame now that, I can speak on something, even though I have no business in my son's life because I've never been there. So now he thinks, I try to, and that's ignorant. That just shows that you have his statement shows that he has no involvement in his son's life, because anybody as the parent, myself, yourself, you taught your kid right from wrong. You taught your kid, don't do stupid stuff like that. You can do pranks on YouTube and not do stupid shit like that, to where you're crossing boundaries and you're causing people to fear for their life that they pop a cap in you. So that shows that he has never really been a fatherly figure in his son's life anyways. So his whole method of talking, they should have just said, no, fuck, put him off to the side. You're worthless.
I mean,
the only thing that makes you a dad is your DNA. Other than that, you are worthless.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate judging this story from seeing 5 seconds of his dad, but I feel like I can a bit being a dad. Like when I saw him, I'm like, dude, I get it more now. Like,
yeah. And that's what I said. That's what I said, Sensei. You can't determine.
Yeah. That's why I was pointing at this, because it's probably the most important comment.
Yeah. I said that earlier. Yeah. You can't determine what somebody's scared of and how far, they're willing to, like I said, you, me, Steve, our patients are a little bit longer, and we're probably don't have to worry about something like that. But when you got a little kid and a big giant guy coming at you, and you don't know. So, and as far as your attorney friend, saying it wouldn't be considered self-defense, once again, it all goes bound to the jury. It would be up to the jury. Like I said, the DA can charge you with anything and everything in the world, but it's up to that jury at the end of the day, regardless if they hit you.
No, and you saw it. That's even what he said. He said juries can be weird, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, he doesn't even even outside of he was kind of putting it in context. It was like he was saying that never, you can't expect anything from a jury, I guess was what I took from it.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever expect, because
and like I said, people have been waking up lately to all the bull crap. They're tired of the crime in their cities. They're tired of that. And he probably got that jury that had that same mindset is, hey, I'm tired of seeing this stupid crime. I'm tired of dealing with all this crime stuff. And, they probably looked at it from their point of view. How would I have handled it if I'm sitting at the gas station? Somebody comes up to me and starts doing that. They're going to fear, because you never know when somebody's going to walk. That's like me, bro. I am so big. People will move out the way because they're scared, because I just have that presence about me that people are fucking scared, that when I'm walking, they kind of give you that look like this big, scary guy. And, I'm super friendly, but they don't look at it like that. So if you see me, let's figure your girlfriend, Steve, if I walk up to her slamming something in her phone, what is she going to, she's going to freak out, dude. If she pops a cap in me, well, I deserved it, because, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Scrabble here said that, social media monetization, it's like letting people not work and just be like, I'm going to be a dick instead, like
Well, yeah,
for life.
It's because society thinks, like I said, society has that mindset. It's me, 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 and as long as it ain't happening to me, it's funny. As long as it's not happening to me, I don't care. Like I can guarantee you, bro, that probably 90% of people, they will sit and watch their neighbor's house get robbed and not do a single thing about it because it's not their house being robbed. And so they'll watch somebody else being housed, but once their house is robbed, they're going to be walking around the whole neighborhood. Why didn't you call the cops? Why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? That's the mindset these people have nowadays. As long as it's not happening to me, it's okay. But once it happens to them, now it's a world situation that everybody needs to pay attention to. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe
Daniel,
and maybe some people will learn from this. Maybe some of these pranksters will wake up and say, hey, well, damn, this dude got popped in the gut. He's still being stupid, but maybe others will look at it and realize, hey, man, maybe I need to calm down with some of my stuff, And
I guess just, the first few times I saw this, I was thinking, man, I've gotten lucky on so many occasions, like leaving a bar at 4 a.m. into an alley, setting the alarm and locking the door. And you got that 5-minute beeper. You slam that door shut and there's still that 5 minutes to go back in and shut it off. Somebody's just right there with a gun. Hey, we're going back in. I mean, I got lucky. I also knew how to read my situation. I, tried to always leave with somebody else that late, kind of all the things you can do. But like, I don't know. To me, it just seemed so crazy. Like, this is a YouTube prankster and a DoorDasher in a mall. Yeah. I've worked in a bar downtown and for 15 years and left it at 4 in the morning. I've seen it all. And Daniel, like we were talking about though, there was a jury that says justified.
Yeah, and really the whole DoorDash part of it could be deleted from the situation because really at the end of the day, it didn't matter what he was doing in the mall. He could have just been buying himself a pretzel or some fried chicken. It really doesn't matter. What matters really is the situation that he was put into. Like I said, I'm proud to see that as a DoorDasher that he is carrying some kind of protection just in case because like you said, carjackings in those areas are ridiculous. People are getting robbed and shot for nothing. Somebody would have shot him for that Popeyes if he was in the right neighborhood.
I'm with you though. You can't even tell, but I don't like how he had his gun. I can't see it.
Yeah, that's the only thing
that bothers me a little bit though, because I feel like it was even in some kind of place it could have just shaken out of his coat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing you could probably hit him on is just the way he's carrying it, but.
Yeah,
people do, whatever it takes, maybe he didn't have the money to afford a proper holster or whatever the case may be, but I'm not going to hold him on that. So I'll hold him a little bit, but for the most part, it is what it is,
So Nick's saying at his church, if someone starts something, we can't touch them or they can sue us. It don't seem right. Nick, you're in Austin. I know other parts of Texas have actually hired like people to be in church in case there's a situation.
Well, that also, Nick, you got to remember there are good Samaritan laws that you fall under in certain situations. When you say somebody starts them, it really depends on what you mean by starts them. If somebody starts an argument, that doesn't mean go over there, put your hands on them, kick them in the face, and throw them out the door. No. But if you see somebody at your church physically assaulting somebody, like they slapping their wife around, there are good Samaritan laws. You have to make that decision. Do I want to involve myself in a domestic situation, knowing those are one of the highest, deadliest situations you could put yourself in, not only for civilians, but police. So, but you are covered by Good Samaritan laws, and mostly all states have Good Samaritan laws that if Steve's slapping his girlfriend around and I see it and I walk over and I start slapping Steve and pulling him off of her and stuff, I'm not going to get charged with anything. And the guy's not going to be able to sue me for that. So, right. It just depends on what level you want to take it. Like, even if somebody is slapping their wife, let's say Steve is slapping his wife and I have my gun on me and I tell Steve, get off of her and I have my gun pointed at him. If he doesn't, I can still shoot Steve legally. I can shoot Steve because I don't know Steve's intention. Steve might be killing Steve's intent right there might be to beat his wife to death. So if I choose to, I can.
I don't like that this is about me, but okay.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm using you as an example because you're here. We'll pick Sensei next time. But yeah, you would be legally in the right to defend the person that Steve's beating up at the time. You have that right. It's called Good Samaritan laws. So it just depends. Do you want to have to take somebody's life? It's your choice.
I should do a pranksters getting shot in the gut channel. We can go around looking for TikTokers pranking people, and kaboom. All right. So what is this one? I doubt people will learn from this. Unfortunately, you got a lot of people doing and saying dumb things all the time to want to be gangstered. I don't know if that's it. I just think that I mean, these fads like stealing cars, like, oh, that's hot on TikTok, let's do that. What? I mean, were you like in my day, like Grand Theft Auto was a big deal. Like you were making a life change to go into that.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's what happens when you have this woke justice system now. They don't care. They just let them go. Oh, they've been so oppressed, or oh, we feel so sorry for them because mommy raised 8 kids on her own because no daddy. Feel sorry for bullshit. Like I said, they treating the real victims like they're the enemy, and they're giving the perpetrators the benefit of the doubt and feel sorry for them. Until that starts turning around, which I think it's starting to a little bit. This is a perfect example what I think is where it shows that it's turning around, that people getting tired of the dumb shit. Until that gets turned right back around and we treat the true victims as victims and not, just, you're not the victim, the perpetrator's the victim, type mentality. You're going to have a lot of this stupidity still,
I mean, remember, I know you'll remember. Other people might pretend like they'll remember too, but unless you're the right age, you won't. But like going postal used to be a thing. And now it's like, dude, you got to look out for, like, you could be at the grocery store and a guy working at the grocery store could be on that postal limit.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why they called it going postal, because it was a mailman thing. For some reason, mailmen just lost it, went in and was shooting up their bosses and stuff, and that's where that whole phrase came from. But yeah, you never know when it's somebody's day that they just give 0 Fs, and it's like, you know what, you push my last button. It's kind of like me. It's kind of like me.
Like they're not a bad. This is weird, but they're not a bad person.
No.
But they've had it.
Yeah,
they're just like,
exactly.
Fuck this, dude. I've had it.
Yeah. You never know how life is beating them up. It's just pounding on them daily, and just one day they just say, you know what, is it really worth it? No, and they snap, and you just happen to be on the other, because you wanted to complain that your Starbucks didn't have enough whipped cream, and you just happen to be the one who snaps that day, and you pay the price for something as stupid as whipped cream on your Starbucks. So, like you said, it's you got to watch how you treat people. And this Dasher was probably not in the mood. Like I said, picking up $3.50 orders, trying to be top Dasher, probably pissed him off, and he just was having a bad day, and he picked the wrong guy. So,
yeah. I mean, Nick is back, I think, to the church thing. He's saying, I'm talking about pulling a knife, assaulting someone, pulling a gun. We can't yet. See, I disagree. Because I think what Roy was saying, the Good Samaritan law, but also you got the whole, I mean, you're going to have witnesses in there that were like, yeah, I pulled a gun, dude, or he reached for a knife and that guy tackled him.
No, you can very well, if somebody pulls a gun out in church and you have a weapon on you, and you can very well intervene. That makes no fucking sense, Nick. I don't know which church you go to, but maybe move to a different church. Because you always have the right. If anybody's threatening to kill anybody, you have the right to intervene, because you might be the next one that he stabs, or you might be the guy he shoots at first. So yeah.
I mean, I know Nick is a he's pretty religious, and I'm sure he'd go. But yeah, I would think like, man, that might be even worth a conversation with your church if you're that close with them, because. Not to scare them. Like, you don't want to freak them out. Like, hey, what would happen if, like, but I mean, if they made comments about it, like, hey, you can't do this kind of thing, I think it'd be okay to question it. Why? So if I were to see something, I just got to let the whole church get shot.
Yeah, right. No, that
just makes no sense.
And it's time to move to a new church thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'll hit the driver on his firearm handling. in my training, I had it drilled into me, so you don't shoot to drilled into me that you don't shoot to disarm. If you feel threatened enough to shoot, you don't miss at close range.
Well, he didn't miss. He got him in the gut. And gut
Yeah.
shots are pretty nasty for the most part, depending on where they hit.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
she
how
got
that guy
good-
bounced
she
back
got-
like
yeah.
that.
That's how you're trained. You're trained to pull your weapon and you shoot to end the threat. It's not, oh, I'm going to shoot to wing him, to make him stop, or I'm going to shoot him in the kneecap like this movie bull crap we see. No, you're trained that when you pull your weapon and you use it on somebody, it's to stop the threat regardless. And his gut shot stopped the threat, and it obviously stopped the threat. So, and that's the whole purpose of having the gun in the first place.
So see, Daniel, you carry, and I think Daniel's in southern Michigan or northern Ohio near Toledo-ish area.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody needs to take their personal security upon themselves. You were given it's a right that your forefathers gave you to protect yourself. We already know. We've all called 911 and said, "Hey, I got a situation." They show up 20 minutes later. I'm sorry, you're not waiting 20 minutes to draw a chalk line around my body. Hell to the no. Roy's going to take care of it because you have the right to, and that's all it boils down to. And if,
And,
you know,
and honestly, most
Yeah,
criminals don't wait till the cop car's in the area to commit the crime.
Yeah, no criminal cares about the popos. They don't care about the popos.
Right, but they're aware of the situation. There is no popo here, so
exactly. They know those response times better than anybody else.
yeah,
You know, and that's, people need to learn that, hey, I was given this right to protect myself, and I don't want to be a victim. People need to get out of this, oh, I'm scared of okay. All the guns I've owned and the guns I own now, not one time have one of them ever got up and threatened to hurt me. You know, so it's a tool. It's a tool like anything. Just like when you hammer in a nail on a roof, your firearm's a tool to protect the most important thing, and that's you and your family. That's what gets me, bro, is I'll equate it to car maintenance. You'll go and you'll get every oil change, your tires rotated, you do all this preventative maintenance on your vehicle, but you won't carry the tool for preventative maintenance of you getting messed up. It makes no sense to me. It's like, okay, you have the tool to prevent yourself from being messed up, but yet you don't want to use it. But you'll make sure, you know, it's retarded mindset to me that people think like that.
Yeah, I mean,
carrying a gun is preventive maintenance. Carrying a gun to me is no different than preventive maintenance on your car. It's there to use in case you need to prevent yourself from being broken down.
and just so you guys know, I'm used to wearing like a belt, like working production gigs and stuff. I'm used to wearing a belt, so I don't mind. So when I'm doing gig work and stuff from the rideshare days, look, I've got my taser, and it's legit. I got mace, and I know it's not the best stuff, but guess what? It is, but it's going to get me too. But it goes 30 feet. It's bear mace for when you're out in the high country. So, I mean, I've got, you know, like I said, my plan, Roy knows it, is that I'd gun it on a highway and run into the medium or run into another car, you know, in a way that doesn't hurt them.
And that's another thing that people got to understand. If you're doing gig work, people are, well, you're not allowed to have guns doing rideshare. You're not allowed to have guns. You know what? What's more important, your life or that job? I don't give a shit about the job.
Yeah, because I mean, right, if your life's in jeopardy and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna be deactivated. Who cares, dude?
Yeah, you're gonna be.
If you had to pull your gun out, don't worry about being deactivated.
Yeah, it's either that or you're going to get deactivated another way, and that way it's going to hurt your family. It's going to hurt everybody that involved in your life because you're going to be deactivated permanently from life. So yeah, fuck it, screw the jobs, man. That's nothing to me. Like, no, I don't care.
Or that BS that people say police should do, but can't even aim right themselves.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand too. You got such and Sensei is the perfect one, being in the military. Once bullets start flying, bro, your adrenaline is shooting up the roof. You're scared crap. You know, you're pooping your pants. I don't care how much you've been trained. When bullets start coming at you, you're pooping your pants. And I'm sure everybody that acts tough, like, no, you bull crap, dude. When bullets are flying, you hear that zing, zing. Yeah, you're pooping.
It's not the movies, guys.
Yeah, exactly. You're scared just as much as they are, and you're pulling So yeah, you're gonna miss. And that's the thing with police, being that, you know, that's the thing with being police. You're trained to shoot until you stop that threat. Whether or not you hit the guy with your bullets, you're shooting to stop the threat. And, you know, 9 out of the 15 you shoot hit them, and the other 6 you pray doesn't kill somebody else. But that's how they're shot. They shoot until they stop the threat. So when you see a cop pop somebody 15 times, they're stopping the threat. That's all there is to it. You know, me and you look at it as excessive. That's like this kid. If you would have shot him 3 more times, it would have been perfectly fine because he's stopping the threat. Like you said, you know, sometimes one bullet doesn't even stop the threat. Obviously, it didn't kill him. It stopped him enough to leave him alone. But what if that really didn't bother him and he kept coming toward you? You got to pop him through 2 or 3 more times. So you got to stop the threat. You know.
Yeah. So let me see. What's this exactly? No one, if taught to aim for moving feet when your life is in danger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we saw how, like, a lot of people want to get on cops about the way they shoot at people. Well, you know, when you're walking up to a car to do a traffic stop, and all of a sudden somebody whips out a weapon and starts blasting at you, yeah, your first thing is, I got to get away, and you just start shooting back because, you know, that's your first thing. Get away and try to protect yourself. And you know, running and shooting that's a very rarely taught. You know, there are you know, schools out there that teach that, but in a real life situation, who knows? You know, you're being in a training environment. You're not being in real life where there's other cars driving around you. There's other people standing on the sidewalk you got to take in, you know, account. So yeah, man, it's crazy. But
so I have a question for Sensei, because I know he's in Virginia, or I don't know where he is right now, but he's been in Virginia. In North Virginia in Dulles, where are we at with the gun law situation up there? Because that's where this happened too. I'm just kind of curious. But yeah, Daniel says it helps to visualize various situations through your mind often, but Sensei is right. Train, muscle memory. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the same. And we've done that on other safety videos. That's the same way when it comes to delivering food. Look at your surroundings. Know what's going on around you. Think about the different situations. When I pull up to the dark house, okay, these bushes. Could somebody jump out of those bushes and get me? Could somebody, you know, it works the same way. Even if you have no gun or you're not in that type of life and death situation, just knowing your surroundings, and yeah, that works for anything. You know, even like I said, just delivering food, even doing rideshare customers. Look at your customer, you know, look at your customer's hands, put them in a spot in the car where you can visually see them as you're driving. You know, I've seen so many rideshare drivers put customers directly behind them. That is the biggest no-no. There is no reason a single passenger should ever be behind you as a rideshare driver. Never. You got a front seat, you got 2 seats in the back where you can visibly see that person. There's no reason to ever put yourself in a bad situation where you got a blind spot so somebody could reach over and like grab you by your neck or whatever the case may be. So seen that too much.
Couldn't be
and
me.
In that case, if you're doing rideshare and you have one of those customers that insists they got to sit there, you know what? I insist you stay on the sidewalk and you order another lift because it's not going to be me.
Yeah.
And move on.
Or don't even talk to him. Just move on.
Yeah. Say, sorry, get out my car. And
I mean, Roy and I've said this a million times, dude. Trust not this dipshit that got shot, but trust your gut.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if your gut's telling you something, dude, go with it.
Yeah. So,
you know, I don't know. At least for me, I don't feel like it's ever wrong.
But I'll give the kid kudos. So I give the kid kudos for what he did. Other people might say, well, we all react differently to when we're scared. And we all have that line that's drawn that we're not willing to let somebody go over before we take care of business. And so I give the kid kudos. He did what he needed to do to protect him, what he thought he needed to do to protect himself. And I have no issues with that at all.
So somebody had said to one of our comments that, you know, they said, I don't let people sit behind me. But I was thinking, well, somebody could still point a gun at you from any seat during rideshare. I've done enough. But Derek's saying, I can understand women wanting to sit behind me. Is this a joke, or because a woman can kill you too?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Look at that. I think it was in Michigan where she hacked him up with the fucking machete in the back from the back seat of the car. So yeah, women aren't the most. Women are can be just as bad. That rideshare driver got chopped up by the machete from the girl in the back seat. So it happens. So the girls aren't the most.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, look, the guy was justified. The court acquitted. I just kind of wanted to put the closure here because the comments that I saw when we were talking about it before were just driving me nuts.
Yeah.
It is not a joke. I can understand.
That goes back to society, bro. Everybody's been so scared into thinking, oh, people with guns are so evil, and there's 2 to 6 million defensive gun uses every year. That's 2 to 6 million people that save their lives with a firearm versus the 45,000 that are killed with firearms every year. So it's definitely an effective tool to save your life, and it's a necessary tool in my opinion. Especially nowadays, it's getting to be more and more. I don't want to say that you got to go out like wild west and blazing on everybody, but it's becoming nowadays with the way cities are becoming this liberal where cops can't do this, cops can't do that. It's getting more and more important to be able to protect yourself, to learn to protect yourself, and take advantage of your rights. There's that old saying: if you don't exercise your rights, you're going to lose your rights. And that goes for when you vote. You're voting for these people that want to take away your ability to protect yourself when they have 6 security guards standing behind them, all with automatic weapons, and they don't want you to protect yourself. Come on. That should be a red flag right there, people. So that's a red flag right there.
So, Sensei, you're saying this to people who are going to be gun owners, or you're saying that everybody should practice?
No, everybody should practice with their gun. That's
well, I mean, but is this? I mean, yeah, is this under the assumption that they have a gun, that they want a gun, that they?
Well, what they're talking about is some like John Wick type shit. You don't have to spend that kind of money to everyday carry to be like John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Because like
please don't. In fact,
yeah, exactly. Most 90 and probably 90% of the times you pull your weapon, that ends it right there because the other person sees it and they don't want to leak. So that ends it. You don't have to be like jumping behind bushes and running and gunning and jumping over fences trying to find cover. No, that's not how it works. Most gun battles are anywhere from 3 to 7 yards. It's a real quick situation, 2 or 3 to 4 rounds shot every time, and it's a quick situation. It's not like these crazy ass drills. The only drills that work really well is being able to draw your firearm from cover if it's covered, or that's the most important drill. Being able to get your shirt up in time to pull your weapon, your draw times. Other than that, yeah, you don't need to be like doing rolls and jumping over fences and and trying to do these tactical reloads. No, it's not happening. So so some of that stuff is for show and stuff like that. But you should have some good practice, like dry firing your firearm, going to the range. Make sure you can at least hit the target that you're pointing at. You don't want to be like that scene in Pulp Fiction where the guy walks out, shoots the outline around him. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
No, it was the same. It was the same thing I told to there was another driver asking me about mace, and they said, "Oh yeah, I have mine." They showed it to me, and I was like, "Have you ever sprayed it?" And they said, "No." I said, "Well, dude,
yeah,
do you know how to turn it to unlock it? Do you have to push and hold? If you tap it once, it can freeze up. Do you know that you have to hold your arms, keep that, don't blow it into the wind if you can't? I mean, look, you should be trying this. You should know how to work. If you're carrying it, know how to work it.
Yeah, well, not only that, you got to know how it's going to affect you. Because once you blast that off, you're going to be affected just as much as the other guy, when it gets in your eyes and stuff like that. So you got to know that kind of stuff. And pepper spray is fairly cheap. So to buy one to practice to see if that's perfectly fine. You can practice with shit. Go out in your backyard one day when, like you said, the wind's not blowing in your direction, and just practice on your wall. Say, okay, that's a bad guy. Take your kid's chalk and put a little face on the wall or something, and blast at him. Blast at him. Practice a little bit with it. It's not going to hurt.
Even like I've seen the pepper spray ones that attach to keychains. Those are a joke. I dare you to take that outside and press it. You'll see it go maybe as far as your eyes and then come right back.
Yeah, well, not only that, those are in cases, so you got to try to unlock the case. Yeah, that's a feel good. That's a make me feel good situation. That's not going to do jack shit.
Right, you're not going to have all that time to play with stuff.
Because 95% of the time, if you're walking to your car, you got your keys in your purse anyways. So if I decide to attack you, you're going to be fumbling in your purse to find your key. Then you got to unsnap the little leather case it's in. Then you got to make sure it's pointed in the right direction. By then, I'm doing whatever I want for you, and it's a waste of time. So if you're going to be walking to your car, even if you're doing deliveries at night, you should already have it in your hand ready to go just in case. Not in a leather case on my keys. And it should already be in your hand. And
that goes for everything you carry. I mean, look, I have a couple of different knives. Yeah. I have ones for when I go camping. When I go camping, I mean, like I have a Smith & Wesson one. It folds up. I mean, it's serrated. That's like for, and I'll still probably get killed. But if a bear attacks me or something, like that one is big and it clamp locks, and it's got that grip too, and it's just. But it's serrated like a saw. Yeah. Like, dude, if you can get in it.
Well, most of the stuff I carry is either like when I go hiking and stuff, I carry mostly fixed blades. I don't, the only time I carry folders is like when I'm at work, like I'll have it clipped on my belt. But for the most part, and even then, sometimes at work, I'll have a fixed blade on my side, that's laying across my back or on my side or something. So. That way I don't have to, like you said, I don't have to worry about, did I open it right? Or did I open it fast enough? Did it deploy all the way? It's fixed blade. It's going to be deployed whenever you whip it out. So.
Right. But you can see the serrated.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's.
Yeah. Trust me. If you get attacked by a bear where you're at, his
claws. Oh, dude, I got other things. Yeah. It doesn't matter though. If I get attacked by a bear, the best thing I got is the mace.
Yeah, his claws are about as long as that blade.
Well, that's why I carry bear mace, not just on me, but like that bear mace goes 30 feet, and I've tried it. I'll mace the crap out of him, dude.
Yeah, right.
I will blast the whole canister, man.
There is a video out there of a guy that tried to mace one, and the bear still killed him. So
yeah, this stuff is like a you get like 2 sprays out of it. It's like $60 a canister. So, I mean, I guess you don't know until you test it. Like, man, that really.
And Steve, what people don't understand, because I get a lot of, I know a lot of people laugh because I carry bags in my car that are, as shit hit the fan bags, or they're emergency bags should something happen.
I got 2 go bags right here.
And and this coming from somebody that's out in the desert that hikes a lot. You hike a lot. You know the purpose of that bag. You know why you really have that bag. And you being a rescue person, going out and having to rescue these people that, I think I'll go on a weekly hike. I have no compass. I have no flashlight. I have nothing to, you're a rescuer. You know how the importance of that. People laugh all the time. Why do you have that? You're in a city, blah, blah, blah. Being in a city during a disaster, look at New Orleans. That was a city, right? Look at how they were affected by a disaster. So, and that goes the same with any of your gig work. Just be prepared. You don't have to have, I keep this in my car all the time, except for when I'm at home, I bring it in. But man, I could live out of this bag for a week. If I was stuck on the side of the road, I could live in this bag for a week till somebody comes and gets me. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Look how and just for the safety of owning a flashlight, look how many gig workers. I don't have a flashlight, but you're out delivering at night. I don't have a flashlight. You can find a good flashlight for $30 at Walmart. Why? There's no reason that, and it goes back to the business mindset. Why would you not have the tools to make your business better? And just the safety alone of having a flashlight, I can see where I'm going. I don't have to walk around the corner and the pit bull sitting there ready to chew my leg off because I couldn't see him because I walked up in the dark.
No, man, like even in my go bag, I have like, this kind of stuff. Like I have a, it looks like a Duracell battery. It's folded so small. That thing's a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
If I need it to be, like I've got headlamps. I'm overly prepared. with my go bags.
Oh yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I have everything as well. So you see,
you
my
know,
desk
it's
is covered. My desk, you can see, is covered with gear.
and
So
us
and
and
my gear,
usually the search and rescue stuff here in Colorado are morons going into the backcountry who have no experience, have not taken
yep.
avalanche classes, don't know what they're doing, don't even have don't e- the saddest part is they don't even have beacons or anything.
Yep.
They're just out there going, "Hey, let's just go." Like, dude, do you know how avalanches start? Do you know that you're putting everybody in danger
Mhm.
by you not knowing what you're doing? You're putting the whole
Exactly.
mountain on danger.
Yep.
I mean,
And
it's
it's
so a
the
lot of
same.
this and
I think we had like 6, 7 hikers die this year because they walked out and they had no water. How are you going to go walking out in the heat of 105-degree weather on a hike and not have proper water with you? It's just they don't.
yeah,
It's like, you know,
yeah,
and it's just like I said, your safety is always number one. I'd rather carry this bag that cost me $150 and all the gear in it, probably close to $300-400. I'd rather have that and never use it than to not have it that one day something happens and that I need it. I mean, you're never
yeah,
going to see, and that goes, and these are examples of what you should do as a rideshare driver, or you should have shit in your car. You never know when you're going to get stuck. Your battery goes bad. You're stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire. You have nothing to eat. You have nothing to drink. You don't know when the next person's coming. Everybody's like, oh, well, I got AAA. Trust me, I've called AAA and I've sat there for 4 hours waiting on a tow truck. So come on, you know, people got to take it upon themselves to be safe. And like the kid, he was safe, and I'm like I say,
yeah,
kudos to that kid.
yeah. And I would think I mean, oddly, I'm sure that he's like in investigation, but I would think he was allowed to keep his gun and he was allowed to, I mean, he should be allowed to still dash.
Well, not only that,
Oh,
Daniel,
well, I guess they're gonna
yeah, exactly. In that case,
they're gonna say
Daniel, as far
TOS.
as Daniel, in your case, as far as having a flashlight when you got a flat tire situation, not only should you have your flashlight, but that's what headlamps are for. That way you can strap that bad boy in your head. You got both your
Exactly.
hands free, and you're good to go to fix your whatever you want. So
Yeah.
that's what that.
Plus most of those
And even that.
headlamps, like mine have like alert settings and
Oh yeah,
help.
this has like 3 different
Yeah.
yeah. But even a headlamp, I gave away a headlamp, but the guy never got it. The headlamp, you can even use a headlamp to do your ride share. That way, guess what? You got both hands free. So if somebody does attack you, you're not carrying you drop your DoorDash bag and you're good to go because you got both hands. You can see. So yeah, it's all that. You know, what's up, UDM? So
What's up,
yeah, all
UDM?
that's important. And you can buy a headlamp at Walmart for $10-15. That's a quality flat. Like this one, I got at Lowe's. It was $15. You can see how bright that is. That's gonna light up all kinds of stuff. You know, and
Yeah.
so just but people have that mindset, Steve, that it's never gonna happen to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's never gonna happen to me. You know, just like that kid that thought he was all cool. That nobody's ever gonna hurt me. Well, you found out the hard way that somebody was more serious than you were, and you got a nice big stomach wound to look back on. You know.
That's why I was saying I wear a belt. Like literally, when I go out for curry, I leave my house at 5 a.m. You know, I'm getting up earlier, and that's what's helping me earn better. But I'm putting on. I have that taser on there. I have my bear mace on the back, and I also always, because I need it all throughout the day anyway. I always will carry a Leatherman.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
on my belt too. Like I'm just kind of like I'm like
Well,
ready.
well,
I'm
well,
ready to go, guys.
you're also a survival guy. You know that these are important tools to have should something happen to you. And just because you're delivering food at night, you shouldn't have that mindset. Nothing can happen to me. And what's amazing to me is these people will buy $10 coffees every day, but yet they won't think about something as simple as a flashlight. But you're willing to pay $300 a month on a coffee, but you don't want to fork out $30 for a quality flashlight, or like you said, a $15 thing of spray, or that's something that's actually going to protect your life. But because I don't know how many attackers are going to be scared of your Starbucks cup, to be honest with you. So if you can,
Right, it's
if you
like
can
two of your
afford,
coffees. is going to
Yeah,
get you something
exactly.
solid.
Exactly. So if you can spend $300 a month on coffee, you can go and spend $100 on some quality gear, that flashlight, you know, your mace, whatever you want, that actually it's going to keep you safe, not your Starbucks cups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to bring up too is like this whole thing kind of also should remind everybody. Because you probably remember this too, Roy. There was a time when people are like, "Oh, well, I don't dash at night." Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't Things are happening in the afternoon now too.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah,
more
because
often than they used to.
yeah, because cities have gotten so lax on their laws that they're not afraid to do it out in the open. Why carjack somebody at night? I carjack them in the day, and I'm going to get treated just as lenient as if I did it at night. So I might as well do it during the day. And that's the thing, that because of these cities being so lenient on crime, that they're getting more brazen. Most home invasions are done in the middle of the day because they think people are gone at work. So that's how it works.
But to the
man.
Dashers saying I only do it in the daylight hours. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Jack. It don't matter nothing. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You know,
So
so I mean, it goes back to every time Roy and I do something, it's about safety. I think this is just another one of those things, you know, have a plan or think. I mean, I saw some comments that were saying, you know, it's not enough. You actually need to just more than mental train. But mental train is something, because you can't go run your car on the highway into a wall and smash it up just to train.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's
I've
like,
said this.
shit, I just broke my car.
I've said this before. The mental training is the most important part. Using the tools, that will come naturally. But having the mentality, do I have the mentality to take somebody's life if it means I'm going to lose mine? Do I have the am I strong enough mentally to protect somebody else in my family? That is more important to me than any tool, because you can learn how to use the tool. We all can learn the tools, but you can't learn that. You have to practice that. You have to run through your mind, what is the worst thing that can happen to me? How would I react? And that's so the mental to me is probably 85% of the battle, is having the mental, and then 15% is using your tools, because tools is muscle memory. This is going to be the most important, is having the mental ability to say, hey, how much is my life worth? Like you said, me and you, I have no problem blasting my car into a tree if that means I'm not going to get shot in the back of the head. I have no problem, because I have that mindset that I want to live. I love life. I want to live.
Yeah.
So some people,
but you and I also go out and, I mean, I know other people do too. Like, I know Sensei is a great example of somebody who gets out in the world and does a lot of things.
Exactly.
Always proud of Sensei. Good job. But like Roy and I do too. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times, and probably most people in this chat have heard it too, that Roy has said, like, how many of you do fun things?
Yeah.
I mean, I question this too, guys. Like, I'm raising a son on my own. I'm doing all this. I'm doing search and rescue training. I'm doing other things. I work my butt off. I get up at 5 a.m. and I work till noon. So if you're thinking, well, he's done at noon and he's making good money. Yeah, it's because I get up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Are you getting up at 4:30? It sucks, dude.
Yeah, it does no good to make all this money just to sit in the bank and never enjoy it.
Right,
like
and
said,
constantly be just work, and like even your goal is work.
Yeah, you never know. I woke up with a life-threatening disease one morning that almost took me out. I was walking doing a delivery from Jimmy John's when I ended up with blood clots in my lungs. So you never know when it's going to be your last day. So yeah, you might be proud of yourself. I work 7 days a week making $300, and you could go out for that one delivery and you'll never see that money you ever made again, because a health issue might pop up you didn't know about. You get ran over by a bus trying to get to your fucking McDonald's, whatever the case may be. So yeah, you got that. That's the thing. In gig work, is the biggest problem is work-life balance. That is the biggest problem I see in gig work. Everybody's having to work 7 days a week because the apps have trained you to work 7 days a week. And you need to break that. You need to break that. Even if we're talking about safety, take a day off. Go learn, like you said, go buy your stuff. Go practice with your little pepper spray. Do something. It's more fun. At least it's fun. You're out of the house. You're playing with your stuff. You're learning how to protect yourself and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just do fun stuff like that.
But I mean, look, I remember Roy's video of, I don't know if you technically called it spelunking, but it was spelunking to some level, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys were dwelling into caves.
Yeah, going into mines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like, dude, when I see, unlike most people probably aren't like this. When I see that, I want to come out to Vegas and do it with you. Like,
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's my
I
kind
would,
of thing. I love that
yeah,
stuff, dude.
yeah, exactly, bro. And people might look at it, oh, he just walked. You don't know the dangers inside those things. Until you see it up front, you don't know the danger of those things. When you walk in and you see a 4x6 holding up the side of a wall, you don't know how dangerous that is. And I'm not saying that, oh, that makes me a badass because I'm there.
No,
But
but
when
there's
you
a
look,
there's a great rush. I mean, like that feeling
yeah,
of that
exactly.
cold draft of being
Yep,
in those when you
exactly.
get underground, you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
damn, it's 115 upstairs and it's
Yeah.
60 in here.
Yeah, and that's another
It's
thing you go
like,
through, and it's such a neat thing to do because you come across skeletons of animals. You see the ladders of these people that the food cans left over from when they were in these mines, and you see the different minerals that they were going through and all that crazy stuff. And that's so interesting because then it leads you into learning the history. Okay, what was this mine about? Get in the books, read stuff, look for more. And that's called living a life. But these apps have got these people are so society. That's another thing with society is they've trained everybody that you got to have the riches. You got to have the riches. Sorry, I'm not the richest guy in the world. I have what I have, but I'm rich in life. I'm rich in life experience. I'm rich in that. People might say, oh well, that don't matter. That's not paying the bills. I pay my bills. Trust me. But I still take the time to live my life because I know how precious it is.
yeah, dude. I mean, look, I
actually
guys,
care about your and like a lot of people might not believe it, but I care about the people on here's lives as well because we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't care about you. I may come
that's
out
why
hard.
that's why I asked Roy yesterday if he'd do this with me.
Yeah,
because I think that we don't always want to like bombard you and annoy you guys to where you're like, oh, another safety video. Like it's not like that. We're just trying to remind you, dude, this stuff happens. Be safe. But also
it's called getting complacent. People get so complacent with their daily lives. Oh, nothing's ever going to happen to me. Well, guess what? Me and Steve here, we'll do a video once every 3-4 months to remind you that shit like what you saw with that kid happens. And it could happen to you just as easily as it happened to him. So,
and also gig work, it was pointed out that gig work's like in the top 10 most dangerous things to do in the United States right now. Part of that is fatigue of driving. So like I understand having to work a lot. I have a son. I have like multiple streams of income. I'm doing everything I can. And I also need my time with him and all the things I do. But it's I like Tuesdays. Tuesdays is probably across the board, universally for the most part, the slowest gig day of the week. So Tuesdays, what can I do? Well, Tuesdays I'll take off. I won't work the gigs since they're slow. I'll go up to the mountain and go snowboarding for the day because nobody's up there. Even on a holiday weekend, they're already gone because they left on Monday. So it's dead. I have the mountain to myself.
Yeah, just that people need to get a better work-life balance. And especially with, like you said, it's getting up there as being most dangerous. You're in your car 12, 15, 16 hours a day. Some of these people, which I find is ridiculous in the first place. And I'll be the first one to say you're a goofball for doing that. But remember, every time you get in that car and start it up, that's the sands of time are not working for you. They're working against you. It's just going to be a matter of time. That clock ticks down till you're the one in a really bad accident or something really bad happens to you. And to sit there and say that I don't know how to protect myself is bull crap. There's plenty of resources out there to be able to protect yourself. So there's no excuse that if something happens that, hey, I can't protect myself. Jesus Christ, I carry a full-size medical kit in my car. I don't have to help somebody in a bad accident, but I'm able to. I'm capable of doing so because I've had some fun with some nurses back in the day. They've shown me things on how to help somebody if I need to do that. So I don't have to, but I choose to. You don't have to, but at least have something in your car for if your kid cuts his finger. You should have something in your car to help put a Band-Aid on it or whatever the case may be. Or if you're in an accident, you split your forehead open. waiting on an ambulance could be 10, 15 minutes where you're bleeding all over the place. You know, how hard is it to, you know, and it's not like this stuff is super expensive, bro. You can get a good quality medical kit at Walmart for like $20. And that's what's
I have a probably better than one in my car. Everything in my car, like, you know, that's kind of something funny. Like, if anybody feels daring, and don't stage it. This is just a, you know, we're just, you know, just be honest, but go take a picture of what's in your trunk and email it to me. I want to know, because I'm guessing you don't have most things you need.
Yeah. Shit, most people, and think about it, most cars nowadays don't even come with spare tires. Yeah. That's an extra purchase when you buy a new car. You'll get
do you know where your jack is?
Yeah. You'll get a bottle of fucking Fix-A-Flat and an air pump. That's going to do you a lot of good with a blowout on the side of the road, right? You know, so, you know, something as simple as going to the junkyard, buying a $25 rim, and then going to your local little Mexican store and get you a $25 tire, so you have a full-size spare tire. People don't even use that kind of brains. Don't even use that kind of common sense. And you should always have a spare tire, because you never know when you're going to blow out. You know, that's the last thing you want to do is blow a tire out in a really bad neighborhood, and then you're stuck there having to sit 3 or 4 hours on a tow truck. No, Roy's going to be out there fixing his shit.
And that Fix-A-Flat stuff, guys, that is like a last ditch effort.
Yeah.
I mean, because it destroys your rim, your tire, everything's gonna be wrecked. You're gonna have to I mean, it does get you out of a jam if it's the worst case scenario, but
well, the problem why it ruins people's stuff is because it blows up their tire. They don't leak anymore, so they continue to drive on it for months.
Right. And there's foam in it instead of like air pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And so instead of using it as the fix to get you to where you need to go, and then going and get your tire fixed, they'll go, well, it's not leaking anymore, so I'll just drive on it. Then you end up corroding the inside of your rim and possibly causing a worse blowout, because now you're rotting the entire tire from the inside out. Yeah, so people are just corny sometimes, bro.
So yeah, I mean, that's it. Have, you know, in
I have
mine,
a full-size medical kit.
I have like a flashlight that blinks both ways. I've got headlamps. I mean, like I've got my first aid kit. You know, everything in my trunk makes sense, except for there's a 7-iron back there too. But
yeah, I don't keep any of that in my trunk. Everything's within reach of my back seat. So like I have my medical kit. I actually have it hanging on my headrest. So, and it's got a quick release Velcro strap on it. So if it's really an emergency, all I got to do is yank it and it comes out. And I got shit in there. I took them out because I didn't think it would be necessary, but I had chest seals in there. So if somebody was shot, I could actually patch them up and hopefully save them, but I took them out. But I have everything in there to actually save somebody.
I've got those too, those blood clot.
Yep. Exactly.
I've got those, dude. Like,
it
shows a hunter shooting, and it really means he shot you. Oops.
Yeah, the quick clock. Yeah, the quick clock gauze, all that stuff, just in case. You know, it's got everything in there that I could. That kid has enough in there to probably save at least 3 people. I carry a tourniquet. With me. I carry a tourniquet with me every day. So if something really pops off, I have that handy. Right at hand's reach. I take safety serious, especially my own. Like I carry most.
But you also carry, like I do, like a bigger kit, first aid kit. So like I could stop and help somebody if there's something too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like I can be the good person that stops, because I actually have a lot of like. Do you guys have jumper cables? Are they thick gauge? The thinner the gauge. The slower the start, you know. I mean, like, do you know how to hook them up? I mean, do you know how to hook up jumper cables? Yeah, most people do, but do you? I mean, do you have them? Do you know?
Actually, just to show you, not only do I have the one in my car, but I also keep this one in my bag.
Yeah.
So
I always keep one in my day bag.
So I have the one that's hanging on my car, and then I have this one which carries everything you need to pretty much save somebody should there be an incident. So
You know, that
so
looks a lot like
actually,
mine.
so I actually have two of them. So if there's,
The one in my car is just extra stocked with bandage and gauze and stuff. It's got a lot. But the one in my day pack's kind of like what you got. But
like I said, this pack goes with me everywhere, and especially when I'm hiking and stuff. So
yeah,
that's why redundancy is kind of important in that situation. More redundant thing to have.
what's up, Flex?
So yeah. So, and people will laugh and clown and, oh, that's a waste of money. I think your $10 coffee is a waste of money. I rather save that $20 for 2 coffees and go buy a flashlight that I can at least see if I'm going to die or not. You know, and a flashlight is not just for work. Every day your power goes out at home. You're like, oh, well, I can't see. You know, it's just simple things that people take for granted. And yeah, people can laugh at me because I buy.
Maybe it's just more of a like where we live thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, like Roy has
like you
like,
said,
he goes and does things that headlamps help for. I do that too. So it's like I actually probably have 3 or 4 around the house. You know, it's like
exactly.
Between Max and mine, it's like we, you know.
Yeah. There's always a flashlight within my reach. I sleep with a flashlight on my bed. I always have something that, you know, besides my gun and my flashlight, they lay on my bed while I sleep. So I'm prepared for whatever happens, and people might think it's overkill, but once again, how important is your life? Yeah. That's what you got to look at. Is my life more important? Is my life not important enough to spend $20 on a good flashlight when I'm driving at night, dropping off food, and I'd rather have my Starbucks? Like well, maybe you would only have to buy 1 Starbucks if you weren't driving for 16 hours a day. You could stay awake. You wouldn't need all that extra caffeine and shit. Use this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Flex, I also carry water bottles with me. Like, I mean, like not plastic store-bought ones like I have.
Okay, that's an interesting
question.
Will you be considered a failure if you don't have one? I wouldn't say you're a failure. I would say you're unprepared for what you need to be prepared for. I wouldn't say you're a failure. I would say you're just unprepared. You're unprepared. Why would you want to put your life in the hands of other people when you have the ability to take care of your life at that moment for yourself? So it's not that you're a failure, it's that you're unprepared. And so yeah, I would never call somebody a failure. It's called just being prepared. I think in a bad car wreck, your first aid kit is gonna.
But you're going to the other extreme, Flex. I mean, like you could be talking jaws of life to get you out, or like we're talking about just having what you can. You can't have everything.
Yeah, but even in a bad wreck where you might require the cause of life, that's not going to stop you from, if somebody has a severe gash across their forehead, to reach in through their window and be able to put a bandage on it so they're not bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Or if they have an artery hit, you know, maybe there's an artery in their arm that got cut, you got a tourniquet, you can still reach in and do some of that stuff. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be the fire department,
or even to be able to put pressure on it and hold it.
Exactly. So yeah, you know, they're you know, it's not there to, like, I'm not an EMT. I'm not there to save people's lives, but for, you know, some instances, it's a good thing to have. And not even just for other people, for yourself. You know, while you're sitting there in your car waiting for the ambulance and you're bleeding all over yourself, you know, you can reach back, grab a gauze and put it on your own so you're not bleeding all over yourself. You're keeping the wound cleaner than if you just left it out there for all the elements. So, yeah, you know, it depends on if you really want to help people. That's at the end of the day. Do you want to help people? You should want to help yourself the most.
Yeah.
And people really don't even want to help themselves because they're more worried about making that $5 on the app than to actually worry about helping themselves. Because like I said, I've heard it, I don't know how many times, I got AAA. Yeah, that's going to help. Yeah, come on.
Okay, yeah, but what if you lost your phone? You can't call AAA now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some cars have most of us don't have those though. But my point is that, like, look, you know, it's not even just weapons. It's like we were saying, like extra tire, jumper cables, first aid kit. Then, you know, do you need to carry a gun? I don't know. You know, do what you're comfortable with, but have something. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Because people are attacking drivers. This is a fact.
Exactly.
It's being done. So, I mean, look, I mean, this isn't a preaching safety thing, but this guy, what he did was justified.
Yeah, and like I said, kudos to him. He did what he had to do. He guess what? Not knowing the circumstances he was in, he got to walk away that day. There could have been there might have been a chance that he didn't walk away that day, and that might be you. This might have been a prank, but the guy that walks up on you at the gas station, it's not a prank. So,
yeah.
At the end of the day,
I mean, I don't know. I found it to be one of the weirdest things we've seen with gig economy violence that I thought of anyway. But
yeah, to be honest with me, what makes me glad to see it is that there's actually a jury out there that took everything into consideration and actually acquitted somebody for doing the right thing, which was protecting himself.
Sensei had made a comment about that earlier. He had said that, juries also kind of, maybe they're not supposed to, but they kind of weigh in society and where they're kind of like, it's,
well,
I mean,
see,
and
that's the scary part we live in right now. We got, like I said, the society is so wussified about every little thing. And so that's 12 of your peers, which is society, that hopefully you get 12 smart ones. Like this kid had a smart 12 people that saw what happened and they were on his side this time. And so,
yeah,
that's unfortunate.
But you guys have been going for an hour 40, so we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah, I mean, look, I think hopefully this was a good discussion for you guys, because safety, man, it's like the biggest thing. And also, I guess it's not exactly what we're talking about today, but take a day off, man. Look, maybe you don't have mountains like Roy and I do, but you got something near you, a park, a walk, get a bike, go biking. Like
exactly. Go hang out at the park for a few hours.
Buy a skateboard, go to the skate park, go break your knees open.
Enjoy nature. Even if it's funny because when I get bored, like if I get bored on my day, I'll just go walk around the mall just to look at stuff. I don't even need to buy stuff. I just look at stuff. It's just interesting. Looking at people, watch people watching. Go down to the strip and watch these people on the strip. It's anything besides being trapped in a car with focused on, I gotta make $5. I gotta make $5. $5 might not be there next time if something happens to you because you allowed your health to go bad and you didn't get out there and do something with your life, man. Nobody wants to work 50, 60 years and then be able to enjoy, the money they made.
You also start hallucinating, guys. And if you tell me you don't, you're lying.
I know. I guarantee you there's a gazillion people in this room that do rideshare that talk to themselves while they're in their car waiting for deliveries. I
bet you half of them don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Because I've caught myself doing it. I'll be sitting there just like, so I've caught myself doing it where I'll just be sitting there waiting on orders and some weird shit will come in my mind. I'll just start talking to myself out loud like this, like that. So everybody does it, and I'm sure. So.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. For me, that keeps me whole. Like, I got a son that keeps me whole. All the things keep me whole, and I make my money and I work hard. But you got to do something fun, guys. I mean, and if you're claiming money, most of the things I do, and I know Roy too, like we do them for free.
Yeah. What? And I'll be honest with you, and this is a rare situation. Probably a lot of people don't understand. Is what keeps me understanding that I want to live my life is I almost died twice.
But don't you think you'd even still feel that way anyway?
I don't know, because before I had those incidences, bro, I was hardcore. Like when I caught that one illness, I had 3 businesses going on. I was working 24 hours a day, breeding animals, doing, aquarium maintenance. I was nonstop until that day that I realized, man, I got to do a little less. That's when I got because I lost my businesses. Long story. I got a W-2 and I was working normal. And even my W-2, I would sign up for overtime. I want to work overtime. So I was in that mindset. And then when I lost my job and I was like homeless, I'm like, fuck, man, something's got to change. And so that changed my mindset a lot to where, okay, this is where Roy has to start from scratch 100%, and he's going to do things differently. And then when I had that incident with the blood clots, that was the end for me. I'm like, I'm not going to be killing myself. I'm going to go out and enjoy life, because fuck, I could have died right there on Jimmy John's floor.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided that any job I get, I do not work weekends. I take my weekends off to go enjoy life, because I know how I've been that close. So, and like I said, a lot of people don't understand that, and unfortunately, some people will learn that the hard way when they're in the hospital, because they're fucked up, and then they realize, wow, dude, I spent the last 35 years not enjoying life, not getting to see nature, not getting to go walk in the park, and shit like that, dude. They'll learn that.
And if you're younger than Roy and I, don't think we're just being old either. It's called wisdom, you guys, because like you ain't young forever.
Yeah, that clock has no age on it. That could be a 25-year-old or it could be a 60-year-old. So those
right, and that, I mean, exactly, dude. What if you were shot by somebody and you didn't even do anything tomorrow? Did you do something fun this month?
Yeah, exactly. The last thing you want to do,
maybe for you, fun is a movie. Go to a movie. Go do something.
And you got those people say, well, work is fun to me. Well, if work is
there's
fun
tons
to
of hours to work, though.
Yeah, exactly.
There's tons of hours to work, and then there's still time to do other things.
If you get fun out of work, then
but if you find yourself taking a hike or something like this, and it's supposed to be decompressing you, and all you're thinking about is work, and you end your hike quick, and something's wrong. Something's wrong. You need to soul search a little more.
Exactly. It's an addiction like anything else. And unfortunately, society is preaching that nowadays too, that you got to do this, you got to have this, you got to do that. Well, a lot of people end up in the grave early trying to do what society wants them to do. And I'm totally opposite. I'm not going to do what society tells me to do. I'm going to do what's best for me and enjoy my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm whether I go upstairs or downstairs, if you believe in that shit, I'm the one that has to pay that price. So I'm willing to make that conscious decision to I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to do it as long as I do it legally, and we're fine. As long as I'm doing it legally, we're fine. So yeah.
So I have a taser. Yeah. I don't know what it would do for a pit bull. Also be careful of dogs, dude. Most of them are nice.
Yeah.
Pit bulls got a bad rap a couple decades ago,
but pepper spray will do a dog just as fine as a taser will. Dogs don't like being sprayed in the face any more than a person does.
And again, if you have pepper spray and you haven't used it, wow.
And it's not even
in fact, when this stream ends, go outside and stand downwind and spray it. Make sure because what if it doesn't even work?
Yeah.
What if you bought some cheap one and it doesn't do anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. They put it on their keychain and they forget about it. And that shit might be 3 or 4 years old sitting on your keychain. They do have expiration dates on them, just so people know. They do expire. So, you might have this pepper spray on your keychain for the last 4 years because you never had to use it. It just sits there. And then when you do need it, guess what? Nothing comes out,
So Blaze had a good comment. Nice comment to you here.
Oh, let's see. I just want to say, Roy, it's good to see you feel strong and among us.
And Hug Smash.
I know I do get a lot of shit because I do dog gig work a lot because, like I said, I've lived that life. I still do gig work. People know I still do DoorDash, not as much as I used to, but I still do it. But I do care about you guys. So I might come off as the asshole to everybody, but I do care. Or I wouldn't even be sitting here right now with Steve talking about it. I could just go about my life and know that, hey, something happens to me, I'm prepared. I could care. I could sit here and say, I don't care less about these people, Steve. If they don't care about themselves, why should I? But actually, I'm here because I do care, and so. I
mean, I think I saw a few people in the, I didn't think of that, or oh, that's a good idea. Not necessarily immune, but they were taking ideas today.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it's even opening your mind to putting even if it just gets you to go out and buy a 1999 first aid kit. Step one.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And if I didn't care about you guys, I wouldn't be on here for 2 hours talking about something that will possibly help, hopefully save your life and do whatever, So.
Yeah, but see, before, if you don't use it though, you won't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go figure it out. I mean,
yeah. Well, that's my thing. I think that's red. I'm going to say red. That's the thing with pepper spray. You got to be the one thing, especially if you're a rideshare driver, you're in an enclosed environment. You're just gonna have to pray that when you do bust it, you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with getting it in your eyes because you're gonna be probably just as bad as the guy that's in the back seat coughing and hacking. You're gonna be doing the same thing. But guess what? That gives you the opportunity, even when you're coughing and hacking, you get to open that door and run away. So that gives you that 30 extra seconds that, hey, I might be coughing and gagging, but guess what? I can run away and hopefully he doesn't kill me, So
yeah.
I'd rather be gagging and running away than sitting in my car seat dead, So.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, dude, there's no way, at least have a plan to run into something. I swear it's mine. And yes, I've seen since I say things like, no, I don't doubt it. I can do it. 100%.
No, I'm the same way. I think that's the one thing we agreed on. Roy, what would you do if I was on the freeway? You said that was that one question you gave me. What if you were on the freeway? I said I'd run dead ass into the barrier.
Yeah.
And you said
because at that
thing,
point, yeah, the airbags deploy. Everybody's going to be a little out of it. They're not going to shoot you at that point. They're going to just want to get the hell out of there.
Chances are you hit some tree head on, they're flying through the windshield anyways. They ain't wearing a seatbelt. They're already in a bad position. And once again, just don't put them directly behind you also. So
yeah, just be safe, guys. Think outside of the box, get some fresh air, exercise.
Yeah,
thanks, Roy.
It doesn't hurt to sit at home every once in a while and think, okay, I do this for a living. What can happen to me? Okay, if I was stuck here, what could I do? What do I have at my disposal if I'm stuck here, stuck there? Just that's the kind of shit I sit around and think about. I know it sounds like some people might, oh, well, that sounds morbid to always think of bad stuff like that. But that's what's gonna, at the end of the day, when that bad thing happens, that's what's gonna save me.
Look, I'm not being a doomsday prepper, but I have MSR fuel. I have a little tiny stove with this thing, and this is in my day pack. I have dry food, dehydrated food.
Yeah, you're as bad as me because I have MREs. I have MREs. Mine are MRE. I have MREs in mine, so I have like 5 days worth of MRE in mine stuff. So yeah, I'm the same way, dude. You're good. You're good.
But I mean, like, so is that going too far? Not for me because I'm in the backcountry.
No.
And in fact, it's not even like I'm screwed. I need to use it. I use it sometimes just because I'm in the backcountry.
Yeah. And I use this every time we have one of these safety things. I use this as an example. There was that really bad blizzard. I think it was in either Wisconsin or Michigan, where the people were stuck on the freeway in the snow for 2 days, and people were complaining that they didn't have water, or people were out there walking around giving out water because people didn't have water in their car. And this goes to show you how people don't think. You are surrounded by water. It's sitting right next to your car in the form of snow that you're stuck in. So that just goes to show you how people don't think like that. Like there's snow sitting right there next to you. That is an endless supply of water. But people were like, I didn't have no water to drink. And they were out handing out water. Like, you're surrounded by water. So it's just simple stuff like that people can think about. Like, it's like you out in the wilderness. If you run out of bottled water, you're in the snow. You have water at your.
Well, I also have it's $35, guys. Not expensive, but I have a pure pump, so I can go to any river and get that E. coli and all that crap out of it.
Exactly, purification.
So I can drink that water. Like it's
a $20 life straw. That's all you need. That's $100,000.
I mean, that's cleaner than my water here. That's cleaner than the water we have at our house.
Yeah.
If I use the pure.
But what's good about you is you guys have rivers and streams.
Yeah.
Here it's different because I have to truck the water in with me. So it's added weight. It's added weight, but is it worth carrying the weight to live? Fuck yeah, it is to me. Yeah, it is. It's worth it to me because I know I have 3 or 4 days of water I can, that I can survive, hopefully, till somebody comes and saves me. So that's what
So
I do.
I have 6 2-gallon, like they're accordions.
Oh, nice.
And you can shove them down to nothing. So they look like waffles.
Yeah.
And I've got 6 of them, but you can string them out to, and then I can
Nice.
pump those full. And then I got 12, you know, I mean, like,
And that's
no
what's good,
brainer.
like living in your kind of area, because you guys do have the rivers and stream. Desert, it's a total different survival in the desert versus where you guys are in the wilderness. So Steve is probably, if you look at his bag it probably has a lot of the same, but mine has, but we have a little bit of difference how we would deploy it, because I'm in the desert and he's in the wilderness type situation. So
yeah,
and that's, you know, and then, you know what? You guys are on YouTube watching gig workers all day long doing ride-alongs and talking about pickup, delivery, accept, decline. Feel free to look up YouTube how to possibly save your life if you're stuck in the wilderness. Million videos on that. Videos on that.
You don't need to go down the doomsday prepper hole.
Yeah, exactly. You can just look up something as simple as something as a little car, a simple car kit. You could look that up on YouTube. If you got the time to sit and watch all these gig tubers repeat the same information every day for like the last year, you can watch a few videos on how to possibly save yourself. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, I mean, again, guys, I truly believe this. Get out and do something fun. Pick a day to take off work, something.
Yeah.
And I know the apps are down. I know everybody's making a little less right now, but I do it. I have a son. I raise him on my own. I'm a solo dad, and I still make that happen.
But really, at the end of the day, Steve, that's not an excuse. Because at the end of the day, all these gig workers know their markets. They should know their market well enough that they know, like you said, Tuesdays suck. So guess what? I take Tuesdays off because they suck. So why sit in your car for 12 hours a day knowing the day sucks, you're going to be miserable, and you're only going to make $50 when you can
it's like lottery. They're hoping on that
exactly.
one, man. They're hoping on that one.
So when you know that, hey, guess what? Saturdays are really good. If I hang out another extra hour, 2 hours on a Saturday, I can make the $50 I would have made sitting in my car for 8 hours on Tuesday. Take fucking Tuesday off. There's your day off. You know this.
Yeah.
They should all know this by now, that this day sucks. Why would you want to sit in your car for 8 hours miserable, hoping you're going to make this money? It's when you can, honestly, even if that's the case, let's say Tuesdays suck. I don't want to work Tuesdays. Fine. You can stretch out maybe an hour and a half every other day of the week to make up for the money you would have made on that Tuesday while you're out having fun on Tuesday. So there's no excuse. People choose to use that as an excuse. I need. Well, I don't believe in that mindset that I gotta do it. Well, if you gotta do it that bad, Steve, they need to reevaluate their life and redo something else in their life. That you need to sit in your car 8 hours a day when you know you're not going to make jack shit. Yeah, there's something else you need to reevaluate. You know,
I mean, that's my point. Like when I had this pivot, I pivoted to getting up at 4:30. That was a big change for me, guys. I come from the bar industry, and that was my bedtime before. So I mean, it's been years of apart from that, but getting up at 4:30 is not easy, and getting into the shower and out the door at 5, it's tough.
Yeah,
to move thousands of pounds of paint too. Like I'm not just delivering food, you know. And I mean, people pointed out I get paid pretty well, but I work 5 a.m. to noon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a different world than most people. Most people are getting up and around 10, 11.
Yeah,
exactly. And then they work 12-hour days, and
yeah.
So I feel like I've just, I pivot to make it work, but
exactly.
yeah, without downtime, I don't know what I'd do. I gotta at least address before we leave. We gotta see Flex's comment here. But you all know these
opportunities are all random. You never know what's going to come to your phone at any time. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If that's the way you want to live life, worrying about, oh, I might miss out on a big order on a Tuesday when the rest of the day sucks, or then you're living by the apps. You're not living your life. You're living what the app wants you to live, and that's a horrible mindset. I don't care If I know Tuesdays are slow and I take Tuesdays off, I don't give a shit if there's 100 catering orders. I don't care. Why would I care about that? You know,
That's
if
what I
I
was
can
gonna say.
make
If I came back to town, Tony lives in my market driven dad. Perfect example. If I come back to town and I went on a Tuesday and he's on Curry now, so perfect example. If I go up to go snowboarding and I come back and he's like, "Oh man, you missed a hell of a day," I'd be like, "You missed a hell of a day."
yeah, right.
I
And
wouldn't
even
even
if
blink about it.
yeah, and even if you look at it as it's random, we've all been doing the gig work long enough. We know that we can make so much money in a day. We already know this. Yes, you may have some weeks where they're a little bit less. Some weeks there are more that make up for the weeks that are less. So it's all a balancing act. It's all a balancing act. But if you're worried about I might miss a day of good work because it's a random thing on my phone, yeah, then you're living by what you're living with. You've attached your life to an app and a phone. You haven't attached your life to actually living a life. So I don't know if that made sense or not, but yeah.
No, even when I go do my stuff, one of the biggest perks is just getting away from my phone. Yes, it's in my backpack, but I'm not holding it and touching it. And
exactly.
like,
You know,
I check in on it 8 hours later.
Yeah, when I'm out, yeah, same thing. When I'm out in the mines, the last thing is I give a shit about my phone. I'll wait till I get home to look at all my missed messages, all my emails, or watching YouTube videos. When I'm out there, I'm concentrating on enjoying my hike, making sure my partner's safe when we're out there, making sure I'm safe while we're out there. That's my concern. I could care less about what's on the app if I'm going to get a random catering order, or I could care less. My phone, like you said, my phone's in my pocket, out of sight, out of mind. So yeah, so I don't.
But flex, that's the point, man. See, I think right before you came in, we were talking about that. I gotta say, like, dude, if I go hiking and I find myself turning back from that hike early because a DoorDash order came in, I'm doing something wrong. Like I screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're letting your phone. You're
not that you're doing anything wrong, Flex. I'm just pointing out something.
Yeah, we're not saying you're bad. If that's what makes you happy, makes you happy. But at that point, you're not dictating your life. You're allowing your phone to dictate your life, and phone does not dictate my life. I don't, so that's what you're allowing. You're allowing the phone to dictate your life. You're not dictating it.
So I see some of the things you're saying, like having DUH, it's going to filter out things and only show you what you want. But I'm talking about taking a day off, like unplug.
Yeah, we're not saying nobody in here is saying you're crazy or you guys can't work 7 days a week if you want to. If that's how you choose to live your life, that's fine. We're just giving you examples of why we have chosen not to live that 7 days a week life. Like I said, I almost lost my life twice. Steve has a son that he wants to take care of. He needs to rewind and take his son out and do enjoyable things with his son. We all have a reason why we do what we do. If your reason is you want to sit at home and watch your phone and wait for the big catering order, more power to you. I'm not telling anybody they should do that. We're just giving you examples of why we choose not to do it and why we think you should not do it. Like I said, I care about everybody, and that includes mental health, physical health. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see healthy people live a great life. That's why when you come on my live streams, you guys do all the time, I ask you, what do you have going on in your life? I don't want to hear about your work. Tell me what's going on in your life. Did you go to anywhere? Did you go spend some couple days off? Did you go have some fun? That's what I care about on my live streams. That's why I ask everybody that. If it turns into work talk, well, then I can do about that.
Yeah. So, but see, this is something with age too, Flex. Like, and times. I mean, like, you need to take. I'm not saying go on a vacation. You could have a staycation at home. Take 2 or 3 days off where literally, just unplug everything, cook some food. I know you're big on food as it is, but do something.
I just not taking vacation. Okay, then that's your choice, Flex. You don't have to do those things.
I just don't want to see you burn yourself out, Flex. That's my point.
We all, like I said, everybody has their reason for what they do, and if that's what you want to do, more power to you. More power to you.
No, I'm not getting mad. In fact, we talked about if you got to work, you got to work. I get that.
Who's getting mad at people that choose to work? Nobody's getting mad at them. Nobody's getting mad at them. As people that have worked, I'm what, 51 years old. As somebody who's worked his whole life, I see the benefits of having some time off, going out and enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm also 51, in case you guys don't know.
yeah, and that's the thing. You got two older guys here, who have worked their whole life, explaining to you why it's important to go live your life. To go have fun, go experience the world outside a car. Like you said, go sit in the park, watch the birds, watch the
Buy a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, don't do that because some people it's
Well,
scary. That's scary.
I mean, whatever you like.
Yeah.
If you want a
Yeah.
motorcycle, buy a motorcycle.
You gotta go for it. Just make sure you get trained on that, because that's some
Yeah,
serious
no,
shit.
but like motocross, whatever you
Yeah,
might like.
anything.
I'm not against it because I'm an outdoor enthusiast, so I don't
Yeah,
care.
right.
I think
Go buy a little ATV and run around the forest in it. Who
look,
gives
if you're
a shit?
gonna
Go
work
have
7
fun.
days a week and be hallucinating and trip down a stairwell while doing gig work, I'd rather break my collarbone on an ATV. So
I know I separated my shoulder in the I separated my shoulder in a motorcycle accident. So I've had 4 accidents on my motorcycle. So.
yeah, but I mean, like, whatever. I mean, like, I don't live in New Jersey is my point.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're.
I live in just as bad. I live in Vegas, so you know how people drive out this shithole. So
Yeah, but
bad.
you still got things to do around Vegas,
Yeah,
big time,
exactly.
like outside of the city. So.
Exactly.
But anyway, guys, we've now been over 2 hours. So thanks, Roy.
Yep, not a problem.
Thanks
Appreciate
everybody
you.
for joining us. And please, do something, man. And if you what can I do for you? I don't know. I can cash app you like 5. Well, no. I'll do a giveaway. If you guys email me a picture of what's in your trunk, don't stage it. Just go outside right now. Open your trunk, take a picture. If you send that picture to me like Thursday night, I'll do a $25 giveaway of all the people who sent them in.
Yeah, and that's funny. I just did a giveaway on one of my lives not too long ago for a little.
Yeah, I saw it.
A little bag, so you could pack it with your little safety gear and keep it in your car and do whatever you want with it. So
yeah,
I like doing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to see what all's in your trunks. like jumper cables that are you don't have 4, you have 3. Like, well, where's the 4th prong? Like, oh, I don't know. Like, is there cobwebs on them?
Yeah, right.
Do they work? I mean, I don't know, man. If you're feeling ballsy, send me a picture. We'll do something.
All right,
but,
well, I appreciate everybody coming in.
Yeah, that said, guys, I'm gonna go get outside for a while today. So
yeah, I got to go to the bathroom, so it's all good.
Later, guys.
Thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one.